First and foremost, we give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honor to the elders, great millstone, and salutation to all y'all coming to house and bows big into this marriage. I don't. This title is gonna be called "Without Faith, It's Impossible to Please." I don't know what the title is gonna be, but it's gonna be about faith and and grace. Because we can't, like I said in my last video, we can't keep 100% of the law. I'm gonna bring some more scriptures out to back that up. Get Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. What is faith? Faith is hoping for things that you cannot see. We hope we're hoping Yahushua comes back. We're hoping we're in the kingdom after after this captivity. You can't see it, but you believe, like you're confident enough that you know what's gonna happen. You're hoping for things that you can't see, that you don't know. That's what faith is. It's impossible to please Him. Talking about Yahweh, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that He is, and that He's the reward of them that diligently seek Him. So you gotta believe in Yahweh. He's gonna reward you if you believe in Him. But ultimately, this whole verse, I was trying to get to the point of you have to have faith, and you must believe that He is. Without faith, it's impossible to please Him. So no matter what you do, if you really want to go by, if you don't want to go by faith, and you think the Lord's gonna reward you in some way, look at Esau. Look at Esau as an example. Esau, Esau created Esau created the internet, right? All right, that's good. Esau created the internet, right? He created laptops. He created a flash. He created holograms. Esau created jetpacks. Esau created sports cars. He created jets, tanks. Right? Esau believes in evolution. Esau did this and that. Spaceship that can go outside the atmosphere. Being able to create a plane, that can fly. But probably never been heard of in ancient times. Like, no one could create that. Back in ancient times, if they seen a plane, they would think it was a chariot. That's how much the Lord built Esau up. Esau built up to the heavens with these skyscrapers, right? Artificial intelligence, quantum computers, right? Esau's now talking about trying to merge himself with the metaverse, trying to merge his spirit with technology, and guess what? But without faith, it's impossible to please Him. And after doing all these things I just named, these are amazing things, and artificial intelligence, that's something heavy, but it doesn't matter. It never mattered, right? It's impossible to please Him if you have no faith. That's where it came into. Let's say Esau could keep all the laws, right? I know he can't, but how did he sold his birthright? Because he had no faith. It all goes back to faith. Look at Esau. He had no faith, and look what he did to his birthright. He sold it. So it's like it all leads back to faith. Esau, you can do, not only Esau, but ultimately it's for those for men out there who really believe that they can keep the law. Without faith, it's impossible to please Him. So you can try your best to keep. You cannot focus on faith, right? And keep the law. But the Lord's gonna hold you to that. You can't. It's honestly, when I think of it, It's an over righteous thing to think that you can keep the law because you can't. You really can't. 613 laws, it's impossible. Back then, it would have probably been slightly easier because we were like more righteous back then, right? But not now, more than ever, we can't even keep the law. You saw poisons the TV, right? Poisons the TV with children TV shows. You saw putting baconated commercials and all the half naked women on the internet. People are half naked. You saw promote homosexuality in TV shows. You know, you saw doing all this wickedness. Jacob going off. You know, so there's a lot of wickedness in this world to think that you can keep the law. Esau he also mixed DNA with animals. Like you think you're eating beef or chicken, it got pork in it. You know, mixed fabrics. You can't keep the law, and people who try to keep the law, you're just condemning yourself because you can't do it. It's impossible. Why hold yourself to something that you can't do? You know, that's the whole point of why Yahushua died, because he knew we couldn't do it. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 9. Shalaki chapter 2 verse 8. For by grace are ye saved faith. By grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it is a gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. So it's not of your work that makes you that's gonna save you. It's always good, make videos and be on the highways and byways, but it's your faith ultimately. Lest any man should boast. You know. It's not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, for by grace are you saved through faith. So we have this grace period, right? Basically saying that the Lord has died for us. Not sin intentionally, purposely. That's just not right. But if it comes down to it, that if we do sin, that's the whole point of the grace period. You can't say keep ask us to keep 100% of the law when you're not even keeping it. It says don't prophesy with your head covered. You got men prophesying with their head covered. We're wearing mixed fabrics every day, right? We're just not doing the law 100%, right? Now if the Lord comes back and you're not keeping 613, it's gonna you don't want that's a lot, man. 600, 100. I would think 100 plus, is a lot, but some men think they could do it. But if you really think you can do it, the Lord's gonna hold you to that. On the day of the Lord judgment. The day of the Lord, judgment day, whatever you want to call it. But when the Lord comes back, He's gonna require of you. Do you really swear by your heart that you're able to keep that? Then, if you're not keeping the law 100%, He's gonna visit you, right? And He's gonna look at you like, what? You want to be justified by the law, but you're failing as soon as you say that. Lord, I want to be justified by the law of Moses. You're gonna die. It's not keepable. You just can't do it. It's just, you know. Second Timothy chapter 2 verse 1. Thou therefore, my son, be stronger in grace. That is in Yahushua. You know, be strong in grace. It's in Yahushua. You know, it's about the grace period. All right, let's get this one. Romans chapter 11, verse 6. And if by grace, then is it no more of works? Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of work, then it's no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work. You know, so you got to do both. You know, let me read that again. Romans chapter 11, verse 6. And if by grace, then is it no more of works? Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of work, then it's no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work. So you gotta do it. You gotta do both. You know, you gotta do it. You know, done by faith. But you know, we try to keep the law the best we can, but we won't hold people to the standard that you know what we expect you to do it 100%. We can't do it, but it's you gotta do your best. You gotta like do it like you're trying to be like Yahushua. You know, don't say it's you know it's the flesh. Satan's on me. I ate a I ate a bowl of pork chop soup. You know, I got a line. I got to edge up. I got this clean cut. You know, my woman told me to get a line up because like, what, bro? What are you talking about? You know, and it's like, there's gonna be a lot of temptations out there. You know, you gotta fight it. You know, there's gonna be women may not look at you the same way if you can't get a line up, right? But you don't even worry about that because women are gonna come in that day anyways, right? You know, and for pork, man, there's so much other foods out there, right? Chicken, steak, turkey, salmon, tilapia, red snapper. You know, you got all these different types of foods and dishes. You know, a quail or a pheasant. You know, there's many of the same. There's many different types of foods out there, and people go for pork. What? Who does that? You know? You know. Romans chapter 6, verse 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you're not under the law. You know, sin shall not have dominion over us because we're not under the law. Because if we were, because if we were under the law, for you're not under the law but under grace. So since we're under grace, we're not under the law. So sin doesn't have dominion over us because Yahushua died for us, meaning that we're we're no longer held up by by the law. Because since Yahushua died for us, we're not held up by the law. But never forget that we still got to keep the law. You know, the best we can, right? But under grace. So let me give you an example. So people are saying, you know, you gotta keep 100% of the law. Then why don't you why don't you like take a day off from the Sabbath and not work? You can say sorry. You can tell your boss, oh, I'm a Jew now, and I can't keep. I have to stay home. You're getting fired. You know, Esau's gonna look at you like, yeah, yeah, sure you are, buddy. And he's gonna fire you on the spot. You know, he's a demon. You know, and Jake know that. So for people telling you to keep the law, you're not even holding yourself to that standard. You know, you're not, and it's a sad thing because why are you holding other people to a standard that you're not even holding yourself to? It just doesn't make sense. You know, as a leader, you would want people to look up to you. Instead, you pin them burdens on men that you yourself won't move or can't hold. You know, and it's hypocritical. You know, but under grace. But since men, right, for a sin shall not, let's see it like, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law. So what happened to the men that are under the law, right? Sin had dominion over them. In this verse it says sin doesn't, but in this case for Sakari, right, or any other Hebrews like camp, the sin has dominion over them because they want to follow under the old law of Moses that the Lord done away with because we couldn't do it. That's why He died, because this is the whole reason of this captivity is because we couldn't keep the law. We worship other idols. We didn't. I remember this one verse. On the Sabbath days, there was men going out to the markets, fishing, and doing all this and that. I think it was Nehemiah. I think it was in the book of Nehemiah. But we just couldn't do it. Jake Jake didn't want to do the right thing. Now look where it landed us. Trying to hold the law that brought us into slavery. Trying to hold, you can't do it. We're in captivity because of the law, because we couldn't keep the law. So why are you gonna keep bring us back to something that we couldn't keep? How should I do that? Yahweh Shai knew that. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The most powerful beings, in the universe, Yahweh, right? He created everything. Yahweh Shai is the first spirit. It was commanded over the whole earth, the whole spirit world, the whole everything that the Most High ever created, Even they said we couldn't keep the law. And you think you can go against them on this? Come on now. Let's be real. Let's think about this. Let's think very slowly, right? If the Son of the Most High died on the cross because you couldn't keep the law, and because of the law we are in captivity, what makes you think you can keep it now? What's different now? It's even harder now to keep the law than ever before, right? How you can keep the man? You're gonna die if you don't repent. You're not. Just stop it. Can't you can't keep the law. You just can't do it. And you just gotta understand that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai understand that we can't keep it. So stop holding men to a standard that Yahweh Shai wouldn't even do. The whole point of Yahweh Shai being on the scene. This is why book of Jeremiah and Matthew, my favorite books. But the book of Matthew speaks about how Yahweh Shai came. It's showing that we can't keep the law. He's pointing out men that couldn't keep the law, and he told them to follow him, right? Told them that they have a grace, or like their sins have been forgiven, because he knew what Israel was going through at that time. Yahushua knew that we couldn't do it right. Let me get Acts 9. This is my last one. This is madness. Like, what's the problem with following the Son of the Most High? What is it? People got has a problem with Paul, has a problem with Yahushua. It just doesn't make sense. Yahweh chose his only son. He brought it. He said, "This is my son, whom I'm well pleased." Why won't you not follow him? It's ridiculous. Let me get that. Matthew chapter 3, verse 17. Wait, see if there's any more on this. While he yet spake, behold, a broad cloud overshadowed him. Behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Who was that? While he yet spake. I'm going to get Matthew chapter 17. I'm going to get Matthew chapter 17. I'm going to get I'm going to go down to 4. Then answered Peter, said unto Yahweh, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were so afraid. And Yahushua came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yahushua only. So who said that? While he spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed him, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son. Was he talking about Peter? No. Or the other disciples? He said, This is my beloved Son, whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. That was Yahweh, right? He said, What? Listen to his Son. This is my beloved Son. Right? This is the Son of the Most High. This is Yahweh talking at this moment. And he said, This is my Son. Hear ye him. So listen to him. Hear ye. So hearken unto him. If you want to listen to Yahweh, right? Don't listen. Listen to all this. There's no such thing as Old or New Testament. It's just one whole Bible. It's one whole book, right? So listen to you. If you don't, what the Yahweh. If you don't want to listen to Yahweh, listen to what Yahweh said. This is my beloved Son. I am well. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So listen to his beloved. This is his Son. This is my Son. Listen to him. He will take over my business. Oh, let's look at it in that way. Yahweh is a CEO, and now he wants Yahweh Shai to take over the family business. So Yahweh Shai is in control. Yahweh's still there, but he wants his son to be in front. So now his son is in front, and he's basically telling him, listen to him. He's in charge also. And people just no, we don't want to listen to him. Yahweh even said, listen to him. I don't know who else is above Yahweh. Who else? It doesn't. Man, you don't make any sense. Then I'm gonna get the last verse. Acts 1, and Saul yet breathing out a threatening slaughter against the disciples of the Lord went on to the high priest. Saul is Paul. If you didn't know, Saul is Paul. Before Saul got his name changed, before Paul was Paul, his name was Saul, right? And we'll go down to 2, and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogue, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them and bound them unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined around about him a light from heaven. He fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he trembled and astonished and said, Lord, wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. So Yahushua chose Paul. Yahushua chose him. If Yahushua chose Paul, Saul, right? Yahushua chose Saul, right, to be an apostle. Why is that hard? Because you're not following the scriptures, you know. And the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice but seeing no man. Saul rose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. There was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said Lord in a vision, Ananias, and he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. The Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and he has seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand up. Come on, man. I don't gotta read up having visions. The Lord's talking to him. Men are having visions of a Saul coming through. Come on, I shouldn't have to. This is, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to go through this. No one should have. Man, if you don't want to listen to Paul's writings or Yahushua's writings, if you want to go under the law, you might as well put your garment away and just stare in the sky till the Lord comes back. Just stand outside your house and stare in the sky. You know, because it's ridiculous. It really is. The people are having Ananias having visions, right? Lord gave him a vision. The Lord's talking to Ananias about Saul is coming through. Saul was blinded for 3 days. And why thou persecuting me, Saul? Who am I? He said this is Yahushua. Yahushua was dealing with him. Yahushua was dealing with Saul, which later is Paul, right? If you're not, if eat the whole world, the scriptures say, Let me get one more Bible word. Look at Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. More he said unto me, Son of man, eat thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowel with this roll that I give thee. Then I did eat it, and it was my mouth as sweet as honey. He said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with thy words unto them. So we're supposed to eat this roll, you know. He didn't say eat half the roll, eat a crumb, eat 3/4, 1/2, 1/4. He didn't give him no fraction, no decimal, right? Eat it. Take this whole word in. You can't believe half and not believe the other. Oh, New Testament is as far as oh man, the New Testament's a stop sign. We can't read that. That's forbidden. We gotta stay in the Old Testament. I'm called progression, and brothers. I can't. They're not brothers. The men who follow the Old Testament or the old laws, the laws of Moses are they're not progressing, they're regression. They're regress, basically de-evolving, they're not trying to they're not trying to build themselves, they're just trying to unbuild them. I don't know, they're not, they don't even, you just can't, you can't keep the law, you know? Jake, Jake is ridiculous, you know? With that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. Till next time, I say Shalom.